Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the All-Star Wrestling Review Series for August 22nd, 1981. We continue our foray into this particular broadcast, and certainly we are going to end up with about 140 or so of these, give or take a couple, as there is a great deal missing. But we have done what we can do as far as that is concerned, and then we're going to go into Mid-Atlantic Wrestling, which I have not watched all the way through ever, so that'll be a fun run for me as we've got new potential individuals in a good way there. In any event, we begin to connect on a deeper level and kind of maybe see some good things coming out of that process, and ultimately moving forward into other forms of wrestling as well. But anyway, the 822 edition includes Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito versus Kurt Hennig and SD Jones from the 829 81, which doesn't even make sense as far as where that goes, because 823 wouldn't even fit there. So, anyway, so we go forward into this August 23rd edition, and we are at a interesting place there in a number of ways. We don't necessarily get everything we want out of the program here, but we do get enough of a run there to kind of move you forward into, wrestling being a little bit easier to handle. And again, August 22nd is here, and Mr. Mr. Fuji, or I'm sorry, the combination of Lou Albano and Fred Blassie bringing together Angelo Mosca and other individuals here, not exactly your best match in terms of making history, but at the same time, Killer Khan and Angelo Mosca, Steve King, Robert Soto. Obviously, a one-sided contest, not a big surprise there, nor would it be a surprise who they ended up defeating for a number of reasons, including but not limited to the fact that with two managers out there, how are you going to have your enhancement talents take a loss? Punch kick, very basic stuff. Soto, relatively new to the area, maybe just passing through because he doesn't really get a bunch of attention. Killer Khan, obviously still doing the crazy heel gimmick, and Fred Blassie on the outside, certainly trying to meander that along. Irish whips and basic stuff. Tag off to Steve King, Albano, and Blassie getting along on the outside of the ring, which is just weird to see for a number of reasons. Anyway, Irish whips, punches, kicks, basic stuff. Nothing in terms of a short-term run there, and then we see Killer Khan spin the man around, punch, kick, and chop to the back of the neck, and a basic run there as far as things go. Choking by adversary, and again, big body slam, and Mosca is there, and again, um, double Irish whip, and ultimately double back elbow, and the team of Mosca and Khan working together well. I think it was just here to kind of fill time on a TV show because it doesn't really seem like there's a long-term plan there. They obviously get the victory, and Khan uses that top rope knee drop that he's so well known for, and Steve King takes the loss of the fall as one would expect. Then we move to another in the series of matches. Andre the Giant in a handicap match here. And Andre in a handicap match, you know what's going to happen there. Andre, of course, victorious. Andre the Giant against Mark Pole and Jerry Johnson handicap match. Super basic match, and not exactly any sort of real challenge for Andre. Andre gets the double splash and gets things going in his general direction in a very quick order. Andre, of course, comes through, every few months on television, probably about 4 or 5 times a year, something like that, to get a you know kind of a run of acknowledgement that he, in fact, is a good guy and is back around. He does the double sit down splash, and obviously, there's virtually no one who has, I guess you'd say, major run. Andre does hit the foot to the top of the right into the face, and the Wizard manages to acknowledge that he believes that his man Don Morocco is unchallenged. Doesn't matter if he's going to face Pedro Morales again. Doesn't matter if he's going to face Bob Backlund. The issues as it relates to the disgracing of the Intercontinental Championship are kind of loosely brought up again. Pat Patterson also mocked for being the first champion because Morocco honestly believes that he is better than all of the above. Then we kind of see Morocco in an enhancement match, clubbing forearms and basic maneuvers, kick to the back of the spine of his adversary here, the Wizard on the outside wearing lime green and not exactly looking too threatening, but the inverted splash and almost a laying down abdominal stretch by Morocco gets him where he wants to be in terms of dominating the match. The knee lift and then eventually the splash. Morocco is a very dominant Intercontinental Champion here in 1981, and that continues. Morocco going to the top rope for the splash is exciting, but also kind of a premonition of the eventual coming on of Jimmy Superfly Snuka. S.D. Jones and Kurt Hennig are tag teaming against Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. Fuji and Saito, of course, managed by Captain Lou Albano. Albano managing to be a manager who always has a good tag team or two. Back kicks by Fuji and Saito. Saito, obviously the larger of the two. SD Jones does not want to back down. Chops to the midsection and a short karate-style punch kick mentality for Mr. Fuji. Of course, Saito sending Kurt Hennig into the buckle and ultimately leading him there. And tag off by the nature of things, a leg drop by Fuji, and again some challenges as it relates, and ultimately getting what he wants to there. You then have a nature of kind of some runarounds by S.D. Jones. Jones still kind of trying to find his way into better things, but obviously Fuji hits the bombs away and Saito with several strikes. A match between Mil Mascaras and Johnny Ross from May of same year is here, and June of same year is here. Obviously, Mascaras manages to get a sunset or a full Nelson, and then the diving crossbody and other effective maneuvers, but we see a victory there. We'll close out. We'll be back with more right after this.